Hello buddies, let's go into case study number 2. I hope you have understood case study number 1. So let's dive into case study number 2, okay? So as usual, you have to open my module 2. So module 1 has all the, simplified provisions and the mapping, right? Module 1 has the mapping. This is the mapping. We have already seen that. Whereas module 2 has the bare acts and of course the case studies. And as we discussed in the first case study, very simple. So first, please read the questions. Most importantly, read the questions, what they have asked. Rather than the case study, please read the questions and then ascertain which law it comes under. Ascertain the law. Third one, go to module number 1. In module number 1, we have the mapping. So immediately go to the mapping and figure out which section it is coming under and all those things. See, it's an open book exam, methodology will be different, right? Some questions will be so easy that directly you can go. Some questions you have to, do like this. Then what you could do is after you figure out the mapping, etc., some questions can be answered directly, some questions no. Then read the case study. Because you have read the questions, you know which part of the case study would be relevant and important, you would come to know. Then finally, your presentation. Presentation is what you'll have to do finally. So if you can figure out this methodology to write the answers, it will be very simple. All right. So on that note, buddies, let us go into which one? Module number 2, in that case study number 2, page number 257 in my module 2, right? Yes or no? Yes sir, no sir. Yes sir. Chalo, let's go. Buddy, please open. Okay. Let me just check. So the first case study is done, guys, right? Which one? This Banu Pratap Wala is over. Now let us move on to case study number 2, which is in my material, page number 266. See, material will be updated, some things will be added, some things will be removed, but if not in 266, it will be there in the material for sure. These case studies will never change. These are important case studies. I'll add more case studies to it. So as of now, you have 30 case studies. No, it will become 35, 38, 40 like that, but these case studies will remain the same. Page number may vary, okay? But case study 2 is Manohar Mehta. It is definitely there in your module, right? Module number 2. What is the first rule? Do not even read the case study. Directly go to the questions to figure out where it could be, what it could be. So Sonia plans to make investment in India. She was permitted to do FEM regulation. So this is about FEMA regulation. Plans to make investment in India means maybe she's a NRI. She wants to make in India. It is so easy, guys. Remember, 3 things are prohibited. 4 things. Trading in TDR is prohibited. Real estate business, farming, that is agriculture or plantation activities, and even chit fund is prohibited. But chit fund through banking channel is allowed on non-repatriation basis. We have done it in FEMA regulations. Direct. Do you have to read any case law? I mean, any case study also for this to answer this question? No. Directly we can answer. So that is the scene. Most of the things are very easy. See, the case study may be different and it may be difficult, but the questions will be extremely simple. Okay, that is regarding FEMA regulation. Next, export of goods. So this is my FEMA export regulations. Allottees in a separate bank account and all those things they are asking. So amount released by real estate projects, this will be in RERA. And if you open this thing immediately, RERA, so all your registration and application for registration, etc. See, if you see, this question is about amount released for real estate project from allottees and separate can be withdrawn by promoter, certified by. This is basically registration related stuff. So it automatically comes under 4. It automatically comes under section 4, right? So like that, if you go to the mapping immediately and check, you will get the answer. And in mapping, you would have written your important subsections. You would have written the simplified provisions of the law. You would have written in the page number, in the simplified provisions of law, which page number it comes. You would have written bare act module where it comes, case studies where it comes, linking sections, all that you would have written already. I'm assuming you have already written all those things, right? So this comes under 4. Next, fourth one. Who will be held liable as per PMLA? Guys, already one question on PMLA, RERA, FEMA. See, we have 6 chapters. They can do a mix and match of any chapter they want. Already they have asked so many things. Who among the following is liable for an offense of money laundering as per Part C? Again PMLA. Pamela Anderson. No, PMLA. Right? Sixth one. How much of penalty on illegal remittance of money? On illegal remittance, how much? So if you see penalty, they are asking. On illegal remittance to Saurav. So here basically they are asking about FEMA. Illegally, if you remit outside the country, what would be the penal provision? So obviously, if I go to the, what do you say, mapping and check which section penalty will come under which section, right? There you go, section number 13. Section number 13 talks about penalty, that's it. Right? Next, 7. Suppose a project is started which is not completed due to force majeure and all those things. This is again RERA. Automatically try and map where it comes under the mapping. Force majeure, etc. What happens? So that talks about extension of registrations. You are supposed to register within X time. But force majeure, earthquake, flood, all that happened. So how will I extend? Automatically you will go to 6. You should know this will come under 6. You can mark it, say, okay, this is comes under 6, later I will see. While answering, you can answer together, but you should know that, okay, in the mapping, this comes under 6. That's it. Easy, no guys, very easy it is. Next, let us see. 8th one. Mehta sells a flat of Royal Ashiana to Mr. X for 75 lakh, advance payment, they are asking. For any advance payment, etc., what to do, what not to do, all those things. Correct? And we know as per ERA that, before taking any advance, whatever it is, before registration, etc., advance also if you take, first you should have something called AFS, that is called Agreement for Sale. So all this comes under that, we are discussed in RERA. So with section 8, 9, 10, 11, it comes under 13. See, automatically it comes under 13. We can go to section 13, no? Where is section 13? It is in module number 2 of my book. All the full bare act I have given you anyway. Correct? That's why guys I am telling you, see this particular, mapping has, in the module 1 simplified provisions, which page number it comes, bare act which module it comes, case study which module, everything has been given here. Right? So this will be section number 13 of RERA. In case of dispute between Ramadevi and Mehta, can Mr. Mehta legally claim? This is about claiming the property. Now this is not PMLA, this is not RERA. Claiming the property, because it would have been done in somebody else's name obviously. So I have to go to the Benami Act. Go to the Benami Act, claiming the thing. So held by somebody else. Can I acquire? Can I not acquire? Can I retransfer the property of Benamidar? All this is coming under 5 and 6. So this entire thing will be 5 and 6. We'll see the case study and then come back to that. But overall, it will be around 5 and 6. Done? Next. So here I can say it may be section 5. We'll see the case study. We'll see the case study, then decide. But overall, section 5 and 6 of the Benami law. Mr. Mehta files an application for initiation of voluntary liquidation proceedings. Suddenly IBC came off here. IBC. Right? Who all can claim under IBC? 3 people. Corporate debtor, financial creditor, operational creditor, and the corporate debtor himself we see. But if the company has not made any default as such, you can apply under voluntary liquidation. So then they are asking what? Can they ask for refund of the amount and all those things? So IBC they are going, refund of the amount, is it possible? I again have to come to RERA. Refund. So they are talking about the duties of the promoter. Is it his duty to give back the money and all that? So it comes under 11. It comes under 11. Very, very simple. Comes under 11. Then if you remember, if you just keep going through and all those things, what will override what? Will IBC override RERA? Will RERA override IBC? That also we had discussed. It comes under 89. Which act will have overriding effect over which law? Right? Then, what would be the consequences in the following things? So here they are again everything talking about penalty only. See, remaining penalty. So section 13, 13(1)(a), 13(1)(b), all that comes under this penalty provisions. This is of which one, guys? FEMA. FEMA provisions. Next, redevelop the building. So here they want to redevelop and build it into residential apartment. Redevelopment etc. will come under RERA. It's all about registration. Should I register a property which is, I'm going for, what do you say, redevelopment, I'm going for renovation, I'm going for, complete overhaul. All these things we had discussed with examples in the RERA thing, but yeah, comes under section 3. So predominantly overall, this will be around section 3 of RERA. Then lastly, what remedies available to Mr. Mehta to compounding offences? Again, you go to FEMA. The word compounding is already there. See FEMA here. Automatically, I figured out it is in section 15. Section 15 of FEMA it comes under. According to case study, property bought by Mehta in the name of his mother, Benami transaction will be confiscated. So confiscation provisions, if you, for example, go to this prohibition of Benami Provisions Act. So can I impound the property? So if you see section 27 of Benami, and also if you see the entire adjudication procedure we have discussed, guys, I'll just open my charts as well. If you remember, we had discussed the entire thing in the chart material. If you remember, buddies. Sir, what are you saying, sir? When did we discuss, sir? Hey, we discussed, no guys, come on. No cheating. Right? In Pamela it will come. Full adjudication we had done one chart, if you remember. There you go. So here it talks about all the confiscation and all that. So 5 and 8 sections. 5 and 8 also comes. So here what comes, guys? 5 and 8 of Pamela, PMLA, and of course my section 27 of Benami. That's all. It took what, 10 minutes to understand all these things. When you are writing, you have 4 hours. First you make this structure, then read the case study. Without reading case studies only, we can answer 2-3 questions here easily, direct questions. See, one thing you need to understand, the case study may be difficult, but the questions will be easy. Even if they are difficult, it's okay. We have studied in such a manner that it will be very, very simple. And my module 2 really will help you understand what to mark, what not to mark, because it has the mapping. Module 1 has the mapping, module 2 has the Bayer Act as well as the case studies. And it's an open book exam. If there's any relevant case law that you have to consider, that also is already there in the material. So my module 1 and module 2 are more than enough to carry in the examination. Nothing else is needed. As simple as that. Alright, buddies, on this note, let us now read the entire Kahani. Case study 2. Are we ready? Yes, chalo, let's go. Case study 2. Manohar Mehta, renowned builder of Mumbai, owns a reputed building construction company. So guys, thumb rule, always thumb rule. First see the questions. Then ascertain which law it comes, mark the sections. How will I mark the section, sir? Go to the mapping and figure out which section it comes under. Which law it comes under, which section. So guys, this particular question has PMLA for sure, it has Benami for sure, it has FEMA for sure, right? One small concept of IBC is also there, correct? Competition Act is not there in this, but anyway. So, Competition Act is not there, no? Anything on Competition Act that you saw? I didn't see any Competition Act wala thing, but yeah. So basically, all these questions also were there. Then you have everything in this, no? Case study 2. You have FEMA, you have RERA, you have PMLA. 4 already there. Competition Act is not there. Competition Act is not there. Okay, RERA also I have not written. Sorry, RERA. Basically 4 things already covered in this particular question. Got it? So basically this is how your case studies will be. They'll mix and match everything and they will give you. So chaliye, we shall go to this Manohar Mehta question. Manohar Mehta, see now you know what all questions have come already. So now this will be chilled out. Manohar Mehta, renowned builder of Mumbai, owns a reputed building construction called Sai Ram. Okay. Due to vast, he is known as the king of property world. You also know the king of good times, what happened to him. So this is Manohar Mehta. On a personal front, Mehta and his family had an elderly mother, wife and 3 children. Father is Ram Mehta. So Manohar Mehta's father is Ram Mehta, recently expired. Oh, Damar. After prolonged sickness. Manohar Mehta's mother, Mrs. Rama Devi. Right? So basically we have Manohar Mehta. Then the father Ram Mehta, no? Ram Mehta only, no? Ram Mehta, Sri Ram Mehta. Late Sri Ram Mehta. And the wife would be Mrs. Rama Devi, mother that is. Is a religious lady. Wife, Urvashi madam. Urvashi madam is the wife, Manohar Mehta's wife. She runs NGO and all, homemaker and socialite, mostly involved in all social activities, runs her NGO name Awaz. Mr. Mehta regularly gives financial contribution. The moment you say financial contribution, Benami, all that will come. So, all this money will be given to Urvashi's Awaz NGO. Anyway, next. These minor donations, 5 crore, 6 crore, 110 crore, minor, like Sri Vijay Mallya did, all the scams, minor scam. Gave Mr. Mehta nobleman tag, and better business prospects also I got. Sonia is the eldest daughter of Mr. Mehta, married and well settled with her husband in Australia. Sonia madam, first offspring, Sonia madam. Sonia madam is in Australia. The moment Australia means what? She's an NRI. NRI. Next. Well settled. She has recently started import-export business. That one export wala question was there. No, second question, that is this scene. Mr. Mehta would transfer amount to his daughter and regularize the amount. Oh, already scam. Mr. Mehta would transfer some money either through direct route or through Hawala route and then regularize. Recently, a project was started by Mr. Mehta in Marol area of Mumbai. Project was named Shubh Apartment. Under the project, 5-story building comprising of 2 flats at each floor. 5-story of 2 flats, 5 into 2, 10. RERA is applicable for 8 and above, right? More than 8. So 10 RERA will be applicable. Immediately it should strike you. Actual construction of each flat was 50 lakh. Flat was sold at 60 lakh. So basically, the construction cost was 50, it was sold at 60. Overall, 10 lakh was his profit. Advance booking charges were 6 lakh for each flat, was collected by check. Proper receipt was issued to everybody. Out of 10 flats, 4 flats were sold at an increased price of 62 lakh. 2 lakh was taken in cash from 4 buyers. 4 into 2, 8 lakhs in cash you has received it. Therefore, it earned 8 lakhs. Oh, sorry sir, we didn't know multiplication. Okay. This amount of 8 lakhs was sent to, now starts Hawala route via an independent agent. Sonia utilized this amount in her business and taken it to record. Oh, super. She started recording all those transactions in the books. Has 2 sons, Rohit and Saurav. So now to complete the scene, you have Rohit and you have Saurav. Saurav is the youngest son, pursuing graduation from Chicago University. Mehta remitted 2 lakh through authorized person. Okay, this is your education and all that, your liberalized remittance scheme. During the course was closet seasonal influenza. I remember medical treatment also is included in LRS. So he required emergency medical treatment. Transferred additional amount of USD 70,000 done. Rohit, after successful completion of MBA Finance, is now supporting his father. So to support his career, he handed over the entire project, Royal Ashiana, to be constructed in Khargar. So the struggles of the rich, unfortunately, they don't have any base, so the father will give everything. Said proposed development 1000 square meters, 500 square meters, now it is 1000 square meters. So RERA applicable or not applicable? Rohit was working on the project under the guidance of Mr. Mehta. He marketed about the said project and invited persons to purchase the flat. Ongoing project. Without registration, made an agreement to sell some of the flats. Without registration. With whom? With RERA. As per Mr. Mehta's regular morning routine, one day he read his favorite column, property for sale. Came across an advertisement, sale of residential plot in Panvel district of Maharashtra. Discussed about the advertisement with his manager, Sham Parikh. He asked his manager to visit the actual site. Mr. Parikh called the landowner, Mr. Thakur, and took an appointment to visit, went to Panvel, and it was a 10,000 square feet plot. Quoted a price of 1 crore. After 2 rounds of meeting, it reduced to 90 lakh. Mutual consensus, 20 lakh in cash, 70,000 by check. And it was registered in the name of Mr. Mehta's mother. So 10,000 wala plot, 10k square feet wala plot was bought by Manohar, 70 in check, 20 in cash. But it was registered in the name of Mrs. Rama Devi, Benami transaction. Being a sacred woman, she was not interested in all these types of activities. Okay. After a few months, Mehta from his sources came to know that an agricultural land also is on sale by a farmer, Mr. Bhima Singh. The farmer's 5 acres of agricultural land was located in Thane district of Mumbai. Mr. Manohar Mehta thought it was a great deal to buy an agricultural land, lush green vicinity, all story. He wanted to convert it to farmhouse to potential buyers. Farmhouse, okay, Indians can buy. Can daughter buy it? No. After the detailed discussion with management regarding the purchase of land, Manohar went to see Thane in that land. It was just 500 meters away from the highway. Visiting the land, became keen to buy, blah, 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 sale. Mr. Manohar Mehta and Parikh negotiated and deal in 80 lakhs. So one was the 10,000 square feet, 1 crore wala, bought it for 90 lakhs. Now agricultural land was buying for 80 lakhs. Since Mehta required funds for purchasing the Thane property, he decided to sell his Panvel plot. That old wala plot was there, no, which he bought for whatever, 90 lakhs. He decided to sell it. He retransferred the Panvel property to himself. From the Benamidar, he transferred to himself and sold the Panvel plot for 1.10 crore. 90 lakhs wala sold it for 1.10, making a profit of 20 lakhs. He took partial amount by check and rest by cash. This way he safeguarded himself from showing the capital gain on financial record. Smart fellow. Received 80 lakh in check and the rest 30 lakh in cash. Whereas Mr. Mehta induced Bhima Singh and paid him 50 lakh through check. This 80 lakh may say, the 50 lakh here, and this 30 lakh cash. Done, done deal. Done. He was still having 30 lakh out of 1.1 crore Panvel property at his disposal. Decided to deposit 2,000 each to his wife, 2 sons and mother every month. This is called what? Placement layering integration. Pamela. This is nothing but placement. Placing it 2,000 like that in various accounts. During one of the corporate parties, after having a discussion, Mehta's friend advised him to invest the remaining amount in a shell company. Remember our discussion in Companies Act 186. Through various layers of investment companies, then your layers of subsidiaries and all those things. Like the suggestion, and decided to send 10 lakh to invest in a shell company via Hawala route. All scam fellow. Learned about Mr. Varun Das, who runs a business of Hawala under the veil of a financial company. Commission 1% commission for that guy. He managed to circulate the amount. Then he donated 50,000 cash also to his wife, that Awas thing. After a few months, Mehta decided to buy a new car. Worth 50 lakh rupees. He did the down payment of 5 lakh via check, remaining 45 lakh. He took 3 years auto loan. He had money, but chumma auto loan. So he can deposit the monthly installment in the bank. Hence, this way, remaining 10 lakh, which he gained from the Panvel property also was utilized. He started depositing money into for the auto loan. During the frequent transaction of hefty amount, Mr. Mehta was, the entire scrutiny of income tax department came. On further investigation, they are guilty of various offences. All scam fellows, FEMA, PMLA, Benami transaction, everything. So now let's see. See, if you see, question is so nice, but the questions that follow are, you can do it on your own, right? Let's see. Sonia plans to make investment in India. Some random question, array, that Sonia making investment in India was not there only in the main question. That's how they do it. She was permitted to do so as per the FEMA regulation. So this is my regulation 4, it comes, guys, all this capital account transaction regulation. If you remember, we have already discussed chit fund business on non-repatriation basis. So this would be the answer. Normal chit fund business you cannot do, but on non-repatriation basis you can do. Exports, if you remember, repatriated back to India, how many guys? 9 months. We have already seen from the date of export, 9 months it has to be. The amount should be repatriated back to India. These two, even if you had not studied the case law, you could have done it. Amount released by the real estate project from allottees in a separate account can be withdrawn by promoter after it is certified by whom? Now let us go to RERA. RERA we discussed, it is in section 4, application for registration. Okay. Promoter shall enclose of all these documents, he will enclose, right? Declaration supported by affidavit shall be signed by the promoter or any other person. And then the other thing comes. Here. Amounts from separate accounts will be withdrawn by the promoter after it is certified by an engineer, architect and CA in practice. The withdrawal is in proportional to the percentage of completion of the project. Basically, the money should be registered and the account should be registered, and also you should open a bank account, escrow account, and deposit everything there. But however, you can keep on withdrawing. Correct? See, 70% of the amounts realized for real estate project from allottee shall be deposited in a separate account, escrow account it's called, 70%. In that you can withdraw after certification from all these guys. So that answer is what? Engineer, architect, both, all. Option D is the answer. Very simple. Who according to the provision of PMLA shall be liable for dealing? Manohar Mehta and Mr. Thakur. So who will be the thing here? If you see under Prevention of Money Laundering Act section 3, offense of money laundering, we have seen that whosoever directly or indirectly, knowingly or assists is a party involved in the process. So here both of them are involved in the process, not just Manohar Mehta, was also Thakur, because all that cash dealings and all was done. So it is option number C. Who among the following is liable for an offense of money laundering as per part C? The money went abroad. The money went abroad, right? This was as per the schedule, which had what? Cross-border implications. Remember, guys? In the schedule, if I open, all these are, wrong stuff, whatever you do. But if you go to part C, anything, offense of cross-border implications of that which is specified in part A. So cross-border, who? Sonia madam will be liable here. How much of penalty to pay an illegal remittance to Saurav? So for Saurav, illegal remittance, how much is the question? So guys, as per LRS, what would be the remittance that is allowed? 2,50,000. So if you see the question, Saurav, how much did they pay? 2,70,000 they have paid. How much is allowed? 2,50,000. How much is extra? $20,000 US. What is the penalty? For that I have to open FEMA and go to section 13. We discussed in the, mapping. Section 13. liable to pay a penalty of thrice the amount involved in contravention where it is quantifiable. Yes, it is definitely quantifiable. 2,70,000 may 20,000 is extra. 20,000 into 3 is 60,000 US dollars. Very simple. 60,000 here. Got it, buddies? Very, very simple. Suppose any project may be started which was not completed due to force majeure. So we discussed already. It force majeure etc. comes in RERA. Extension of registration. Extension of registration, buddies. It is in section number 6. Under what circumstances you can extend? Due to force majeure. Force majeure means what? War, flood, drought, fire, cyclone, or any other natural calamity. Calamity by nature. Coronavirus, in some court cases, they have held it to be force majeure. But overall, if you see the definition, because explanation says calamity caused by nature. Calamity caused by Chinese and all is not there. Right? So if you see war, flood, drought, fire, cyclone, these kind of things is what they have to see. Which shall not be how much? Exceeding 1 year. Yes. So the time limit here is registration granted may extend for a period not exceeding 1 year. Direct questions. Very, very simple. Directly they'll give. Next. Mehta sells a flat of Royal Ashiana for the amount 75 lakhs. Makes the advance payment. Guys, what should be the advance payment? Maximum that you can take. Remember? Section 13. Agreement for sale has to be done. Promoter shall not accept a sum more than 10% of the cost etc. without first entering into agreement for sale. But maximum amount you can receive is 10%. 10% of 75 lakhs is how much? 7.5 lakhs. So easy, guys. So easy. Are you getting each question 2 marks? So easy. That is why Bayer Act is the only method to study law. Paper 4 we have studied in depth using the Bayer Act methodology. Paper 60 also we have studied line by line, clause by clause. After you have attended my classes, you can close your eyes and answer these questions. I hope you agree, because we have done what is there to do in 6D. We have to analyze the Bayer Act. Have we done it line by line, clause by clause? Yes. And I have given you the mapping which is linked to all the case studies and everything. So you can just see that. You just need to figure out which section it comes under, which you anyway can see because it's an open book exam. Right? 9. Case of dispute between Rama Devi and Mehta. Can Mr. Mehta legally claim her right over the property? So it's already in the name of Rama Devi. So can that be done? So this comes under Benami. Right? Benami, this thing, retransfer of property. So whatever that person already has. No person being a Benamidar shall retransfer the Benami property held by him to the beneficial owner or any other person. Where any property is retransferred, the property shall be deemed to be null and void. So already it is held by him, and the beneficial owner, whatever it is, cannot be retransferred. So in case of any dispute etc., can I claim a right? No, because the entire transaction is null and void. Once you transfer it, you cannot retransfer it back to you just because you want to change it now. Mehta files an application initiating CIRP. Voluntary liquidation. Mind you guys, in voluntary liquidation proceeding of IBC, you should not have had any default. We have seen that in IBC already. If you have default, if you have made default, 3 people, corporate debtor, financial creditor, operational creditor. Without any default, it is voluntary liquidation. Home buyer wants to claim a refund. So as I told you already in section 89 of RERA. Section 89 of RERA clearly says that this act will have overriding effect over other laws. Because I need to protect whom? Whom should I protect? Obviously, I should protect the people involved in this entire scheme of things. So I definitely need to protect the homeowners. So the provisions of this act will have effect notwithstanding anything contrary given. And if I see, of course, we have discussed initial analysis only, section 11, functions and duties of the promoter. Here they have clearly mentioned that all these details etc. must be given. The promoter shall be responsible for all obligations, everything, shall be responsible to obtain the completion certificate, lease certificate, everything. Should execute a registered conveyance deed. Until he does all these things, right? He has to do all these things. It is his duty. So can he aram say go for voluntary liquidation without doing any of these things? No way. So similar option would be there. Let's see. Cannot claim the amount due, wrong. Can file a suit for the default committed. Here Mehta has not committed any default because I told you voluntary liquidation can happen without any default. See here. The rights and interest is protected after the execution till the conveyance, because this is the duty of Mr. Mehta under section 11. Promoter's duty will be this fellow's, what do you say, right. That is the home buyer's right. Done. What would be the consequence in the following given situations? Where Mr. Mehta remitted foreign exchange 2 lakh and USD 70,000. Same, we discussed this 3 times, 60,000. 20,000 are remitted medical expenses and use remaining part to purchase immovable property. Guys, can you purchase immovable property and all those things? So if you see section 13 only has all the penalty provisions. So you can go to section 13 of FEMA. See here 1A. Acquired foreign exchange situated or immovable property situated outside India, aggregate value exceeding the threshold. Such contravention will also result in confiscation of the value equivalent situated in India. So you have to write 1A, 1B, 1C and all that, predominantly 1A. What will happen if you do? It will be liable for confiscation. Seizure means taking over of possession. Confiscation means taking over of ownership to the government. That is what you have to write. Next. Suppose Royal Asian has a 15-year-old building. It was repurchased by Mehta, planned to redevelop into residential apartments. Launch the project during the course. If I am redeveloping an existing apartment, should I go for re-registration at RERA or should I go for registration? For this, I have to go to RERA obviously. Again, every answer is there in the most important section, section 3. Section 3. See, registration, no registration shall be required where the area is less than or equal to 500 square meters, we know that, and also 8, does not exceed 8, less than or equal to 8. See here, C1, for the purpose of renovation or repair or which does not involve marketing, advertising, selling, new allotment and all these things. So guys, if it is mere renovation or repair or redevelopment, then no problem. But if you are launching a brand new, what do you say, project, brand new residential project, then obviously re-registration will be needed. So in this particular thing, they are what? If it does not involve any marketing, if it does not involve launching it as a brand new project, but the old property they are redeveloping into residential area, then it is not needed. So for this it's not right. If you plan to have a new society under new name with new allotment, then definitely it is mandatory. State the position where the project has been completed and obtain the certificate of completion before the commencement of RERA. So as we have already seen, once completion certificate has already been issued, then no need of RERA registration. If it is developed into phases, for every phase separate RERA registration is needed. That also is given in the Act itself in section 3. Where real estate is developed into phases, every such phase shall be considered as a standalone project. Very simple. Then, where the authority has not taken any decision on the application for the registration with the prescribed period. The prescribed period is over. Grant of registration, prescribed period is over. Within 30 days, all that is over. Fails to grant the registration, then the project shall be deemed to have been registered within 7 days from the expiry of the said 30 days. So section 5 you have to write here. The last one. Right, next. What remedy is available if you want to compound? Compounding offenses, you can just blindly open section 15 of FEMA. and copy paste this entire section. That's it. You have to make an application within 180 days to the from the date of receipt of application by whom? Director of Enforcement. So it is his authority, the Director of Enforcement. So you can go for compounding. You can apply for compounding from him. This paragraph copy paste you do, you will get full marks. According to the case study, property bought by in the name of mother is a benami and will be confiscated. Suppose the property rightfully belonged to Mrs. Ramadevi. What measures she can take? So you can just write basics of 27, but predominantly the answer is on 5 and 8 of PMLA. If you remember our chart here, special court, it will go for possession and confiscation. If it is proven that the property is free from all, if it is not free from all encumbrances, and if a person goes and tells that it was my property, I did not know that my son was using it for money laundering, etc., special court by after application by the CG can restore it to the person if in good faith and legitimate interest he can prove, that lady can prove legitimate interest in the property, and she can tell that I have suffered losses and she was not involved in money laundering. She has to prove all these things. You have discussed that in FEMA. This part, section 5 and 8 of FEMA, section 5 and 8 of PMLA. We discussed this in PMLA, Section 5 and 8 of PMLA has to be written here. That's all, guys, over. So case study number 2 is also done. What is there in that? Tell me. Very, very simple. We have taken 40 minutes, you have finished the full damn thing. So this will be almost some 25-30 marks in your pocket in 40 minutes. We have, and that too I have explained. Without explaining, you can read it and write. Got it? This completes case study number 2. So for my students who have purchased 6D, I will be sharing these case studies through Google Drive. For YouTube, I think some 2-3 I will upload, that's it. This is the second one, maybe one more, that's it, guys, because obviously it's not that, I don't want to do it, it's not like that, but of course, my students have to be given slight preference because they have purchased the classes and they have, they need all the case studies. So on YouTube, maybe 3-4 case studies I will upload, but the remaining case studies is only available for my students, and rightfully so. It is fair, correct? Everything cannot be given for free. The thing is, it's how it is all done. I have given loads of free stuff on my channel, so please make use of it. It's okay even if you are not my student. I am not saying all this because you come and buy the classes. Whoever you have bought it from, I'm sure each faculty would have really taught well. It has got nothing to do with that. But there has to be some difference between the people who have actually invested their money and also the time in me. So for them, I need to give some benefit for the money that they have paid. So the remaining, maybe after one more I'll upload, and remaining all will be only for my students, and it will be sent via Google Drive, links for the ones who have already purchased. All right. Chalo buddies, take care. Thank you so much.